Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Dermot Mulroney about Gone in the Night, which is going to be available July 15th. Today, it's available now. Welcome to the show, man. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you very much. Hey, PD.
Oh, man, I love a good thriller, don't you? Like, you gotta love a good thriller.
Yes, unfortunately, you can just call it a thriller, or you can throw in a whole bunch of other words, science fiction, dark noir drama, twisted, medical tale. It's got all sorts of touch points for just about anybody.
But you know,
anybody that's aging, which we all are.
But you know, it's funny you mentioned that because I just love, I went in pretty fresh seeing this. I watched the trailer one time and I went in and everything, and I loved going into this fresh. You know what I mean? Do you agree with that a little bit? It's a good one to go in and fresh.
A little, although I feel like if you hold back too many spoilers with this movie, you're not making it as appealing as it is. Yeah. There's so many things that you could just give away and kind of feel like you're giving away a spoiler, but for me, that's the selling point of this movie. So ask me anything you want. I'm not going to hide what my character is just because he's got an obviously working process of how to not die.
Oh, absolutely.
The shipping container back behind the house in the woods. So just because I'm doing that doesn't mean I won't ask any questions about it.
Oh, 100%. Like I said, this one kind of is a thriller, has a lot of elements of the sci-fi and everything. I still think it has a lot of the horror elements because there's a lot of things that, your character says to other characters that are very uncomfortable, make you feel a certain way and everything. Do you notice that these are different ways to scare people now? It's not just the traditional jump scares like you worked on the Insidious franchise. These are different ways, like people are scary.
Yes. Well, I think is that reflecting society maybe in a way? Or have all those, like Insidious, all those psychological, spirit type things worn out their effectiveness, and we've got to go back to rooted into human characteristics of evil and misusing other people so that you can get what you want out of your little life. That is part of the horror in this, and even in the way the plot twists are revealed, that becomes horrifying because it's bad and then it's actually worse, and then it's horrifyingly worse than that once you get to the core of what Barlow is up to and what ultimately Kath, that Winona Ryder plays, is interested in at the end.
Absolutely. And it's interesting too. Okay, but we talked about it. I mean, it's out now, so we're not going super big spoilers, but obviously, the coffee shop scene is a huge scene, right? Because that kind of starts a little bit of the what is going on. And I have to tell you, you knew something was up, but you weren't sure specifically. You know what I mean?
That's what we want. That's what we want. You know what that's called? Dramatic tension. You know what that's called? Suspense, right? Even if it's within a character, not like you say, somebody lurking behind the curtain with a. Yep. Although I'm doing Scream 6 right now, and that shit's awesome.
Absolutely.
With the guy lurking behind that works great in another movie. Here, those are the horrifying moments when you realize, oh no, you don't want Winona's character, Kath, but our Winona, you don't want her to get any deeper into, you're starting to red flag, and she keeps journeying and trying to get to the bottom of the thing. Yeah. So that's horrifying in itself. If she could just not look, we could have avoided all of this.
There's that conveation, and you get interrupted by an old friend, and it's like, oh, there's like an experiment or something going on.
Kind of. He says he's taking himself out of the tech world because it was too superficial. Right, and he's gone off grid, and now he's got a way that's gonna help him.
But it wasn't that much of a giveaway. It kind of plants the seed a little bit, makes you think, but then it was great. There's a lot of things in this.
I really appreciate that, Petey, and you know what you're complimenting there is this brilliant script by Eli.
Absolutely,
he can just give you a little pebble of it, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm a sophisticated film viewer. You can't just give me a pebble. Of the knowledge, and like you're saying, it creates its own suspense of when we're going to get to find out what he's up to.
So I'm really curious because the thriller genre, they kind of go hand in hand with the horror. You mentioned Scream 6. I mean, people are just so excited, they're dying to see that movie, like the continuation and everything. And yeah it's going to be amazing. I can't wait. But do you find it interesting that you work on a movie like this, Gone in the Night, which is not like a full horror, but because the landscape and the fans are so passionate, they're going to eat up everything thriller. They're going to eat up everything sci-fi. Have you thought about that with the horror fans a little bit?
Gosh, I guess you're right that it would it'd get people right in their horror horror core.
Yeah.
Well, I wish that upon this film, because we worked so hard and it's such an incredibly brilliant movie. It'd be nice if it doesn't slip through the cracks and that people recognize it for what its intent is, to get you, on the edge of your seat and really not knowing how the puzzle fits together, and be, let's just say, major blood at the end too. So that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Is your favorite thing about storytelling diving into all these different worlds? Is that like the best part about it?
I can't believe how lucky I've been to do so many different types of even genre films now. I'm really adding those up. And so they all take on their own personality and everything. But the types of parts, Barlow in Gone in the Night is such an incredible character for an actor that only one person will ever have the privilege of playing. And that's what happens when you're in a film. You're the only guy, So I hope I did that character justice. I thought of incredible actors when I was doing this. Great actors like Ned Beatty and Charles Durning and Wilford Brimley and those kinds of guys. So I hope I was able to channel some Warren Oates into this character, and do my best, like, grizzled supporting performance I could muster in hopefully in the line heritage with those guys who I'm most respectful.
Well, I think the best thing about this movie too, one of my favorite things, is the whole cast. I mean, John, Winona, Brianne, Owen, yourself, you all worked in like the thriller horror genre before. Which is like, that's the best part, right? You're all familiar with the genre, right?
Absolutely, and Winona, even particular, between vampire, but the Beetlejuice was already a re-engineer, rethinking of horror. So she was born. Her career was born in it. Yeah. So all of that becomes a part of the viewing of this. You mentioned our cast with Brianne and Owen and John. It's so incredible to be locked in a storage container with
because like John did a lot of horror movies. He did Hush, which was a really good one, which that was a really good one. And Brianne did 47 meters Cage Uncaged. Owen did an amazing thriller called I See You a couple years ago. It was so good. Like, so many good movies. Like, I was in seeing the cast. You know what I mean? I didn't even have to see a trailer.
So good, man. Well, it's a thrill for me to be included in that list of actors and in this genre. It's super fun over here. And like you said, for all horror fans or true thriller fans, this is right up your alley.
100%. Thank you so much for your time. People are going to be able to check it out now, and then this is so great. Anything quickly you want to say maybe about a movie you're working on now, or we'll just leave it at that?
Right now I'm on Scream 6, so it's crazy. I just this weekend hadn't seen them yet. I watched Scream 4 and Scream 5 in preparation, and I can't tell you how happy I am to be even the role I have in this franchise. It's so fun and funny and awful and bloody. Holy crap, they do not hold back, and neither do we in Scream 6, and reunites much of that cast from Scream 2022.
Absolutely. But I really want people before that to check out Gone in the Night, because it's an amazing film.
Absolutely. So thank you so much, Petey. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming on the show. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. Until next time, you can catch Dermot Mulroney in Gone in the Night, and Petey Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.